Hey guys, and welcome to 2011. So, I mentioned in my last video that the challenge series is pretty much dead and buried, but as you know, I still love to do solo stuff. And this footage right here is Nightbane. I had this quest. Nightbane, of course, is an optional boss from Karazhan, and I always wanted to do solo stuff. And as we're getting to 85, we start to get access to more raids that are possible to solo. For example, Karazhan is a good example. Of course, I won't be able to completely solo it because of some of the encounter mechanics. For example, we have the chess match, and that can of course not be... I'm not sure it can be done on your own. I am pretty certain it can't. So some encounters and some raids might have some encounters or some encounter mechanics that is going to make it impossible to do some solo runs. One example for this is, you could mention, I can't remember his name, but the first boss encounter in Blackwing Lair is a good example that it will probably not be able to solo. If you remember it, it is where someone needs to use this thing to mind control one of the dragons, and that dragon runs around and takes some of the eggs down, and then it tanks the main dragon boss thing. And of course, me solo with only my pet, if I start to use this mechanic to mind control the boss, I'm gonna be overwhelmed by the spawning ads, and my pet will probably despawn at that point. So that will simply not be possible to do. Of course, one possible thing I could do in those instances would be to find a way to join a raid, take down this specific boss, and then get out of the raid so that I could extend the raid for the following week and so on and so forth, so that I can go in and start at the second boss instead, which might be able to solo. Another good example of a boss that will not be able to do is the Twin Emperors in AQ40. If AQ40 is going to be possible to solo, probably not right away. I think we're going to need a couple of tiers in before it's possible, because I'm not sure that it was an endgame vanilla raid, and it is a 40-man, and I'm not sure they made this into a lower. Take AQ20, that is actually AQ10 today, so that would probably not be that big of a problem to solo. I'm going to give it a go, but I'm not sure if all the 40-man raids have been turned into 25-man raids. If they are, it's going to be a little bit easier to try and solo them. Otherwise, well, I'm just going to give it a go. But anyway, if you go back to AQ40, I think if I remember correctly, that's the ruins of Karazhan. The Twin Emperors, they need to be tanked apart, and that's not going to be possible because I would need to do too much pet controlling. It's not the pet control that would be the problem. The problem is the time it would take me to try to get the pet to take aggro and me taking aggro of the other guy. They're going to meet each other halfway when they're switching, that they're going to heal up too much. So that would basically be an endless fight that would go on forever and ever and ever. So again, there are some of these mechanics that will probably not be able to do. And if that's the case, well, there's nothing else but to give up, but I'm definitely gonna give it a try. I went into Suleiman the other day I didn't went in to record or anything. I don't have any footage from there. I just wanted to give it a shot to see how difficult is this. I wasn't even very good geared. I was far away from my heroic gear, so I was definitely under-geared. But the first boss was not a big problem. The second boss I was struggling with, I didn't get him down, and I gave up pretty quickly. It was just a taste of how far is it, how difficult is it? Is it going to demand specific tactics and so on and so forth? But we're definitely going to see some solo stuff, and I am going to do some hardcore trials to take down instances by myself. One of those that I'm very interested in taking down, or trying to take them down completely, would be Molten Core. I'm still working on the reputation for Hadroxian Waterlords, something like that, and I would really like to complete that instance. So that is definitely probably one of my first projects in soloing stuff in Cataclysm. And I'm not sure I'm going to do videos of the entire run. We're going to see how it goes, but we're definitely going to see more of this stuff in the future. I can tell you that I do have footage of a complete Sol Garub run. That is, of course, done at level 80, and it's going to be more of a memorial video rather than a guide, because there's no reason to do a guide of something that doesn't exist anymore. But it was also one of my favorite raids, basically because it was the first one that I could go in and solo, and I remember my process of going in, wanting to try to take down the Raptor Mount bosses and the Tiger Mount boss, and how I was struggling with the ads in the beginning, and how when I got better geared, I got closer and closer. I started to do the encounters of the bosses, and I got closer and closer and closer and closer to taking them down, and then finally got the first kill First I did the Raptor Mount boss, and then I worked on the Tiger Mount boss, and I came closer and closer and closer. Finally got him down. And that is what really got me into this, working on soloing stuff, because I love the rush. And I like the fact that me and my pet was this one-man raid team, basically. My pet being the tank, me being the DPS, and actually me also being the healer for the tank with my men pet ability. And I fell in love with it, and this is why I'm going to do this stuff. And I've also learned that people are more into watching people play than to actually being asked to do something themselves. Maybe it's because they don't have the confidence to try it themselves, or what it is, but the reason people go to YouTube to watch videos, well, there are two types. There is the ones that are getting information on taking down bosses or such. But there are also the people that like to follow channels like this one, where it is more about watching someone else play than anything else. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. You will be starting to see stuff like this, hopefully very shortly. I am going to start doing recordings, going into some of the raids and starting to work on them, and do recording and then make videos and just talking about it. And I will be asking people to give it a shot themselves. I'm not going to ask anyone, I'm not going to make it into a challenge or anything, but I'm just going to try to encourage people to give it a try themselves. Well, my time is just about up. I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I hope you're going to enjoy some of the stuff that I will be bringing out in the future. And if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. Push the yellow subscribe button or the little box that you see on the screen in the bottom left corner. So click that, you will be able to subscribe, and leave a comment if you like it, and give it a thumbs up too. I like that stuff. Also, don't forget to check out my Facebook group. It will be letting you know what is going on, at least until the blog is up and running. I don't know where that will be yet, but that will still be the best source of information for letting you know what is going on. And I think that is everything. So hopefully I'll see you in 2011, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, and that's it. See ya!